research and due diligence before investing in any company. The information I provide is in no way or manner a professional suggestion to purchase shares in any publicly traded company. I am not licensed to provide financial advice, and this should be considered entertainment. These stock profiles are intended to be trading ideas, a starting point for research. Any individual who chooses to invest in any securities should do so with caution. Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk. You may lose some or all the money that is invested. Always research your own investments and consider consulting with a registered investment advisor or a licensed stockbroker before investing.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal in the building, man. Let me get some things situated here, and we will be up and running in just a bit. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second here. God damn. The source file is missing. May have been renamed. Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to everybody already in the chat room. 1 second for me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you joining me here in the chat. Oh, fuck. Joining me here in the chat room. All right, 1 second here. Yeah, 1 second, people. I'm just back. I'm back. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the chat room. You take 1 day off and then everything goes to hell. One second, guys. I'm trying to figure this out. Hold on. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? It says I'm still streaming, but for whatever reason, I'm not seeing. Ah, shit. This is why sometimes I hate taking a day off, because it's like, okay, all right, so you guys can hear me. Okay, damn, it's like all your settings go to shit. All right, guys, hold on, let me just fix the chat room real quick, and the sound install into, god dang, man, hold on. Okay, there we go. Plug-in store. Alright, so hold on. Alright, there we go. Alright, okay. Finally, my chat room is back up. Alright, 1 second, people. We figuring all this out right now. We're going to get to it. Yeah, I absolutely agree. The stock of the day was DCTH. 1 second, people. All right, I think we are good. We are all good, ladies and gentlemen. We are all good. Yes, indeed. All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope the fathers in the house had a good weekend. I should have said it on Friday, but, you know, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. With that out the way, let me just say, by all means, DCTH was the stock of the day today. Man, DCTH 122% gain today. I mean, I was in the Discord room, and shout out to all the people in the Discord room. I was in the Discord room, and first, we can't credit Africa Emporium enough for, you know, his valuable information that he gives in the Discord room, because this guy has been on DCTH, I think, since, you know, 4 or 5 cents. You know, 4 or 5 cents, talking about it, you know, just boosting it up, man. I mean, really, DCTH. And to see DCTH now at 22 cents, moving like a penny stock. I mean, moving like an OTC penny stock. That's the only way I can explain this move. You know, you just can't believe it. You just can't believe a stock that I know for a fact I pulled up here at 4 cents a share right here on this show, now at 22 cents a share, DCTH. And I don't know how high this can continue to go. You know? I've read the chat boards, I've read the chat rooms where people are saying, hey, we can go 30 cents, we can go 50 cents. You know, I played it today. Because it was just going crazy. You know, so when I saw it at 19 cents, I knew, okay, 19, I know we're going to get 20. Can we get, you know, 25, maybe 30? It was headed to 30. I thought there'd be a wall at 30. And sure enough, there was a wall at 30. Because 30, I mean, that's, you know, we started the day at 10. So I knew 30 would just be like, okay, all right, we're getting a little bit too out of hand right now. And that's basically what happened up here midday. All right, around midday. But there's so much more energy left in it for it to go, as you guys can see. So much more energy left in it. When we look at the daily chart, you can see, I mean, this is a stock that's been, you know, really battling here, but beautiful setup here. You had the gap up opening from Friday, and then the monster day today. You know, really should have been able to look at the previous day's action to see, hey, man, I think we're going to get a big move out of here, out of these low digits and into the double digits. You know, especially as we saw the volume kind of just massively start to come in. But I can see how you would have thought, okay, well, volume's kind of declining, I don't know. But that's actually just because the prices were going higher. So, you know, at 3 cents, 4 cents, you know, everybody could dump $100 into it and grab a shitload of shares. You know, as it gets more and more expensive, you're going to see that volume come down a little bit. Today, everybody was jumping on board just because the move was was granted. You know, it was granted that everybody go in. Shout out to Africa Emporium. We just got done talking about you, bro. I hope you heard that. I saw somebody in the chat room bring up SGOC. SGOC. Let me see here. SGOC Group. Let me see here. 135 was the price today. Here's the daily chart. Man, I hate that candlestick though, bro. I hate that candlestick so much. When you see those candlesticks where they burn people off from the morning. I think this is Africa Emporium here. 202 Africa Emporium.
Hey,
this you?
Doing, Sal?
Hey, what's going on with you, bro?
Nothing much, man. You know, I regularly don't call in during the weekdays like this. This is my moment to kind of sit back in the chat and learn and listen and, you know, watch the family build. But, you know, I definitely want to, you know, speak on that old DCTH, obviously, and all the work we're just putting in and, you know, the valuable, you know, aspect that we have in the Discord room, obviously, that, you know, providing the platform for us. So, man, today, what a day, all I can say. And anytime you can look around and see people print money, you know, from newbies to, you know, more, you know, well-established traders, man, it couldn't be no better feeling. Yeah. No better feeling.
I mean, absolutely incredible. I'm going back. I mean, the real run started back on the 8th of this month. Now, you know, we're almost a month into this incredible run here in DCTH. you can literally see the stock take off, starting off at 2 cents. I'm looking at the 1 hour chart. 2 cents, go to 4. Again, kind of gets stuck at a little bit of resistance at 6, pulls back a little bit to 5 1/4. It stays at about 5 1/4. Then we gap up to 8, and then Friday we just go insane, and today build upon that incredible Friday momentum. Monday momentum. I don't know, Africa report. Where is this going to go? I mean, how far, higher can we go in DCTH?
Yeah, it's weird when we look at these things, because I had the same sentiment in terms of looking at it like an OTC stock in a sense. Pretty much the value of a lottery ticket in a sense. And just think, June 5th, it was at an all-time low at 1 penny.
Yeah.
It was penny 0.5.
Damn.
Just imagine that, a penny 0.5.
That's crazy.
At June 5th, that was just this month, right? And you think about it, like you always say, set it and forget it type scenario. I mean, how low can it go at that point? Even if it reverse split, you're still winning.
Yeah.
If you had $10 on the stock, let's say $100. So, $100 today, a high of 30 cents, 30.03, a high of that, and that's 285%. Value. In terms of taking it from a raw perspective, that low amount, and going that high, obviously that's a lot more, but taking it that far, if from 10 cents, up to that value of 30 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you backtrack it down another, 10 cents from there, the sky's the limit. And it's only going to go higher under the auspice that people are trading this stock only for the mindset that if they can see it can hit $1.
Wow.
The FNBC all over again.
We're talking about
imagine it.
Okay, African Port. I mean, this would be insane if we talking about a stock that was June 5th a penny and point 0.111 or whatever it was, to now we're possibly talking to $1. I mean, that's, oh my God, that'd be incredible, man. That'd be incredible.
That's crazy.
Now I saw you in the Discord post about how they decided not to reverse split, right? So do you happen to know how much time they have to get to $1 before possibly delisting?
They have until August the 1st.
Okay.
The shareholders voted it out on June 16th, which we knew it was going to happen because, like most people in this case, you get more nominative gains when you're trading at a low penny stock value. And the good thing about it is that, if you look at the company's valuation, you look at the books, not a shabby company overall, although they were trading at a glory price at one point, well over $300+ at some point. Mm-hmm. And they still, fell from grace like most of these big biotech companies do at some point, with all this competition. And they found themselves at the bottom, literally at the bottom at a penny 0.5 on June 5th, the lowest the stock ever been in history.
Yeah.
And, it's a steady decline from this point on, gives it nothing but upside. And the weirdest thing about it, we know, as well as most people know, if you check the company's financial standing, they have a lot of institutional investors invested in them. These are the type of people not going to let a company of this magnitude with so much, biotech innovations coming down the pipeline that actually really good value in terms of what it can do for, so-called mankind, that they're not going to let it fail. So they're giving us the leeway, the shareholders, for a chance. The retail investors get a chance to take this stock and try to run it up to $1 plus before August 1st. Worst case scenario, they can either ask for an extension, which we know they granted up to 60 to 90 days extension, or they can go ahead and do that reverse split at that point to save the value of the stock, from being delisted. So we have leeway all the way to August the 1st to pump this stock, whether you pump it, dump it, whatever your case, because obviously we still waiting on news. They haven't dropped news. Think about it. They haven't even have dropped news since, credible news, really since June 5th or even before that. So they're not even concerned about the news because they're saying, you know what, we're going to let the investors handle it. And that's basically what's happening.
Absolutely insane.
We're banking on it being 35 cents at the end of the week. That's just our target price.
Woo!
Anything beyond that, obviously, it can definitely hit that. Look at that. We already tested 30 cents today.
Yeah,
that wall,
very well.
It got rejected. Yeah, which is fine. We knew it was going to get rejected at 30 plus. Now, I mean, come on. You ran from literally, 4 or 5 cents from Thursday and Friday all the way up to 30 cents. I mean, that's unbelievable in itself in a Nasdaq type play with over 167 million float.
Yeah.
Just imagine that.
Man.
So, here we are, guys. This is our opportunity. Like I say, I love when the little guys win.
Absolutely.
And, who knows? Like I say, it's a set it and forget it type play. 30, 20 bucks, like you always say, Sal.
Yeah.
Put a couple dollars in it. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong. I mean, at 22 cents a share, everybody's got $100 that you're going to spend on something stupid anyway to just see what can be done here. I mean, if you can end up doubling that $100 or that $50, especially those of you guys who with Robinhood or U-Stock Trade or some free low-cost broker like that, you really don't have too much to lose here if you've got, if you've been already losing to begin with, and you got a little bit, to the side you can spend. DCTH, man, wow, you guys got until August? That means you have the whole month of July for a run in this stock.
And just imagine, that's nothing but upside. And, a lot of people, I know people are asking questions like, is it official? It's very official. Come on, guys. We're too far in the game not to know how to do some basic due diligence. I mean, the 8K tells it all, right? The different, you can go on the SEC website. You can go on their website. The information is right there listed. It's printed, right? They voted it down. They know by all means, intents and purpose, there will be no reverse split. It's not happening. So, we don't have to play this wavering game and, well, there's no news and all the catalyst. Know what the catalyst is? People are buying, and it's liquid, and it's volatility. So we understand that there's money to be made. We can play the self-righteous role. Well, I'm not going to play it because X, Y, and the third. That's fine. Everybody has their so-called, discipline value, but a little simple due diligence gets you in the game. So go onto the website. Go read their financial statements. Find out what's going on, and then make that decision. But more importantly, don't be looking at everybody else and telling them don't be greedy when they're making money because you chose not to play the play. And that's typically what happens when those things happen, right? We're here to learn and we're here to earn. We're not here to be self-righteous poor teachers. We're here to be, prominent, intellectual, stock trading teachers in a sense where we got money and gains. So, just keep that in mind, guys. Like I said, obviously I don't, like anybody else, I don't fall in love with stocks. I just fall in love with the momentum value that we can get gains. And that's what sales, always offer in terms of us giving this free platform and information. So a little due diligence, guys, takes you a long way. So it's better than forget it type play. There's other stocks running. We don't have to just bank on one, but just keep in mind, here's an opportunity where you can say, well, hey, and obviously I know I had not posted my TD account. I've been blocking it out. I'm just gonna be honest.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, look, I've never been, wanting guys to, put all their business out there because, you never know who's watching out here, but. With that being said, I'm just kind of curious though, African Porter, are you all in DCTH? I mean, obviously this has probably been your biggest winner ever, probably with the incredible gains, But I mean, are you all in, or are you still kind of playing some other things right now?
Well, in the TD account, I am. Now I'm playing it. I've played it two ways in Robinhood account. I played it in my wife's account, and I've also played it in mine. And these are the ones I'm just kind of in and out of, but. On her account, I'm building her account up. I was telling the guys earlier in the auction room, I'm building her account up. So, that was a simple investment. Back Friday, when the news came in that they voted down the reverse split, instantly I caught it on the momentum bill.
Mm-hmm.
I got in, and I went in cheap. I'm kicking myself now, obviously. I only put down like $400, and I had the option to put down near, I think, like 12, 13, maybe $1,500 I would have put down on the stock. I was just a test. I wouldn't have went no higher than that, although I had it to spend. So had I even put that whole $1,500 down on that stock at 7 cents, saying up over what? That's over what? Some old, I don't even want to do the math. It'll blow my mind.
Oh, it would have been ridiculous.
That's just right. That's intraday.
I'm still thinking about that 1 cent. I'm still thinking about that 1 cent. Like, why were we looking at this at 1 cent? I'm thinking about that. I mean,
think about that. Was just June. That was just this month.
Yeah. I mean, that was just.
And we were like, okay, I kept the stock in my watch because I kept it there. We kept, dancing around. Yeah, let's find something that's moving, but it's there. It's sitting there saying, hey, I can't go any lower, guys. I'm a Nasdaq play. Anything, make you feel a little comfortable. I am Nasdaq.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's the big mistake right there. Is because you're absolutely right. I mean, Nasdaq can't go below a penny. A lot of people don't really know that, but you can't really go below 1 cent in Nasdaq for whatever reason. But Actually, I think that's part of like their thing. You just can't go below 0.01. So that would have been no doubt an opportunity for someone to jump in there. But I mean, wow, absolutely insane. Now at 22 cents a share, incredible month for DCTH. And I mean, all I can say is congrats in Africa important. We'll keep watching the stock, man.
I'm excited, man. Like, we're on the way. We got other runners, kind of on the cusp as well. So guys, keep your due diligence in the game. Once again, like I see Trading Jet, I said it best. This is another FNBC. I said that before several times throughout the day. This is the FBNC all over again. They were threatened with being delisted, and we saw that stock go from 7-8 cents, something like that, and it ran up to like 60, 70 plus cents. Some old odd, crazy number. And granted, it had a lower float, but with the kind of sentiment that people actually have behind DCTH as being incredible biotech that's actually doing stuff to save lives. You know how people are. They get all into it like that. For us, it's like, okay, is it liquid? Is it moving? Okay, what's the catalyst? Oh, it has a deadline. Oh, so people are hungry to see it to go. Let's get behind it. Yeah. What we got to lose? So that's just a sentiment, guys.
There it is. Thank you so much, Africa Important. Appreciate the call, bro.
I appreciate it, Sal, man, and all you do. Appreciate it, guys.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the man of DCTH, ladies and gentlemen, just on the line. Look, man, again, he's one of the many people who come into the Discord room during the day. I see Stock God in the building, who are out here giving people game, man. And look, I can pull up, the chat logs, and I see him talking about it. Almost 2 weeks ago now. Africa Emporium was the one talking about it, man. And, now we're sitting at 22 cents a share. Let me see here. Let me just do the math on that. That's, 450%. Almost 450% in the last 2 weeks, man. That's good. That's a, where do you get returns like that? You can't even get that in real estate. You can't get that in real estate, only in this, penny stocks, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I mean, shit, even if you caught it late and got half the return, you still did pretty good. I'm mad the first time I'm playing it was today. So shout out to Africa Emporium in the Discord room, doing big things with the traders there during the day. And, of course, if you wanted to join us, the link is in the description, the 24/7 chat room. All right. On Saturdays as well, they do a little recap. Tyson Bat, Stock God, and those guys are over there on Saturday doing a great recap. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. New people, please press subscribe if you're new. SGOC. Again, I brought that up earlier before Africa Emporium called. Stock God, I thought I saw you post something on SGOC. I think you played the momentum move in this. Let me see here. Let me look at the 1 minute. Here's the 1 minute on SGOC. Look like, okay, wow, would have been a really nice morning for somebody in the SGOC. Definitely would have got out of there after that higher wick showed up. But yeah, that would have been a really nice entry. I think that's what he calls his gap and go. And yes, absolutely. If I take the VWAP out, you can see that gap. So here's the gap. It definitely goes. And that wick is your exit right there. You see that wick come out, and it's time to get the fuck out of there. It's time to roll out when you see that wick, man. Oh, man. And great return because, I mean, that would have been your highest point. You never got back there in the trade. 772, you're on the air. What's up?
What's happening, Sal? What's happening?
Oh, shit, man. I haven't heard from... Who is this? Is this Treasure Hunter?
How they said voice from the past, huh?
Damn, man. I don't know. I thought something happened to you, or... I don't know if you didn't like my show no more. I didn't know what the hell happened to you, man.
I still watch this show every day, bro. Stop playing.
All right, that's what's up, man. Yeah. I know you got some tickers for us, so, I mean, how's everything been going?
Let me see. Pretty good. A little rainy down here in South Florida. Let me see. Congratulations for you guys that played that DCTH play.
Yeah, that's the same, man.
I missed that one. But I was going to say, you know, make money in these plays, bro, you got to sit at the computer, phone all day long to catch them, you know. But I've only been playing. Let me see, IMMU and IMGN.
Okay, let me see this. Get my 5-minute back up here just so we can see the move here over 2 days. And IMMU has been looking really solid here, man. The last couple of days here, I'm looking at IMMU. Solid day today, man. Monday, Tuesday. Look like we starting off the week real good in IMMU, man. Almost $1.50 gained in the stock. So almost a full dollar gain in the stock here. So solid move right now by IMMU.
Yeah. And IMGN.
And IMGN. I know that one. We want to take a look at that one today. Immunogen. Both of these biotechs. What got these running? Do you happen to know, or are you just simply playing the price?
Sal, you know, like we always.
Yeah. I keep forgetting. You don't even look at the news or anything. You just all price action. So.
Yeah. You know it. You know what I'm saying? I get the stocks, and you do. You know what I'm saying? Do your little fancy magic research, tear it apart. You know.
Okay.
And but another one, bro, I didn't jump in this one, but I was looking at it, man, because, you know what I'm saying, it's like gain extra $30, I think extra $32, but it's a little expensive. But let me see, REGN.
REGN.
Yeah, I was like, shit, I almost jumped in
okay. All right, so obviously much more expensive play.
That's what I'm saying. You know me, I bounce back and forth a little bit.
I've actually never heard of it, but man, that's a big-ass market cap. It's got a big-ass market cap. I've never heard of this company, Regeneron. $50 billion company. You think I would know about it, or at least... But,
yeah, you know my underground plays usually.
Yeah, okay. Nice play. I mean, expensive as fuck, but
yeah. $32, yeah. What do you think made that move?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, I don't even look at, companies this big, man. $50 billion market cap. I don't have time to do the research on this shit. So
True that. Yeah, man, those one plays, and like I said, man, Friday show was awesome, off the chain. I love the way you started off with the stocks, and then you just bust their head open.
Yes, indeed.
Like white shit. That's
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Treasure Hunter, man. Hey, call back again, all right?
Huh?
I said call back again. Don't disappear on me again.
Oh no, man, bro. What happened was, I hate to say the troll word. I call in when he did it, and then I think, you know what I'm saying, you blocked everybody kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying, when that troll was calling.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I took off the lines.
Yeah, so I didn't get in tonight. I was going to dust the old laptop off and hop in the chat room and say, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying, I'm about to call in. What's up?
There it is, man. Appreciate it, Treasure Hunter. Thanks for the call, bro.
This time, man. Keep it good work, Sal.
Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to Treasure Hunter. That brother who just got off the phone, man, he's one of the first. I mean, some of you guys in the chat room, I'm talking, he's episode 2, episode 3, something like that. Yeah, man. That's the homie. Shout out to the homie. All right. So he brought up that IMGN, though. That was one that I actually have in the description, the title of the show. I really love that move today. Here's the 5-minute chart. I mean, it's got a really nice trend that it's hanging on, relatively very well here, man. I thought it was respecting this very 50 moving average right here on the 5-minute. Then it broke it toward the close today, so I don't know what that's about. When we look at the daily chart, you clearly see a beautiful trend that started really 2017. All right, really got above the 50-day moving average here back in January. We had, an almost, break here, which would have been an incredible buy opportunity, as we can see now. So from the just below threes, look like 270s now, trading at 542, just 2.5 months later. Incredible run for IMGN. All right, so figure out what's going on for my trend traders there. You might want to take a look at that. I saw Nick in the chat room talking about my thoughts on Bitcoin. I don't know what to believe, man. I mean, we gotta, I see the benefits of Bitcoin. For some of these countries, particularly that are still developing, I can see the incredible potential when we talk about those nations and not having to deal with, currency manipulation and, the Illuminati, how do I say, the World Bank, kind of centralized. Hey, we think your currency is worth 10 times less than this currency, even though you're right next door to each other. I mean, those are real horrible, practices that Bitcoin just destroys, But I still have yet to somebody explain to me, how do I use Bitcoin if I'm in the middle of Tanzania and I don't have electricity and my phone has 1%? How do I use Bitcoin when the physical version of Bitcoin is more expensive than the digital version, right? How do I, as a woman in Vietnam who's selling her fruits and vegetables at market, sell using Bitcoin when the prices are jumping between $30 to $40, every day? I mean, how do I manage my prices? So, Bitcoin has some serious, concerns that they're going to have to figure out, With that being said, let's get back to these tickers. I see somebody bringing up WEST. West up 450% today. Here's another, 0001 stock that got the number called today. And, again, this is we always talk about how those 0001s, those are lottery tickets, right? As you can see here, been some time since that stock had really moved out of the triples. And, there are lottery tickets that don't expire, and WEST got its number called today. So shout out to everybody who's got in big in WST and dumped on the way up. All right, that would have been a smart thing to do anyway. All right, so cheers to those of you guys who were in that play. Cool cats. Am I still in AVIR? Yeah, I still have a small position in AVIR. It's nothing big to get scared out of. Nick talked about the potential that this stock has, so I entered a small position. If it happens, it happens. If it's not, I mean, that's the risk of taking advice from other people, right? So, we still have, he said it could be up as much as 90 days. So we'll see what happens when that news drops on the drug. But with that being said, I still like where it is. I mean, it's not a big position, so it's nothing to worry about. I'm not all in. All right. Never let a trade make me or break me. I learned that lesson a long time ago. When you start going all in on stuff and, letting trades ruin you, on slight moves, you're going to be, putting money back into that account real soon. So always understand there's always going to be another day to trade, and you don't have to make a killing on every trade. You just need to make a killing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to make 1,000 on every trade. Just try to find, something to put on your plate. We talk about that a lot, how, 90%, 99%, whatever it is. I know a shitload of people allude to this every single day. So you just need to find something to put on your plate. I don't even give a damn if it's $50, $100, $300, something. You get into the green like that, pat yourself on the back, because a lot of people going home losing thousands. See Africa Important bringing up ANY. We got that on the ticker, on the chart right now. ANY up 21%. Here's the daily chart. So bearish chart. But we see the stock spike today. I don't see the news though. I almost can guarantee this was a late day run. Let me see. Here's the 5 minute. And sure, okay, not too late. I see it did. We started really moving at around 10:15, 10:20. And these moves are kind of always iffy because you wonder what got these started, right? I mean, we didn't open up with news. So somebody sent something out. I got a lot of people interested in this. I don't see what did, or Are we saying this was a pity DCTH move? Africa Emporium? Because I know, and we've talked about how when other stocks are running, sometimes when a particular stock is running, for example, you know, an oil play or a shipping play, you'll have other companies within the same, you know, industry start running as well. Obviously, this doesn't have anything to do with what DCTH does, you know, as a business, but this is another stock that's deeply discounted, you know, basically on its last legs and looking to survive. And ANY now with a 21% move. And you'll find that a lot with you know, people who feel like they've you know, they got in too late in DCTH. They'll go and run and find something else and be like, oh, okay, fuck it, I'm late in DCTH, let me go jump on this stock over here that's 3 cents or 4 cents, you know, and maybe I'll be able to get a big move there. All right, yeah, you know, I was actually really disappointed in ADMP. Really disappointed in ADMP. If you guys remember, a couple of days ago, they came out and said that they had the, you know, got approved for the generic version of Mylan's EpiPen, and I fully expected this to possibly go to double digits. And you know, we had, you know, the news dropped late in the day, right? It dropped really late in the day, and we ran for maybe an hour and a half, closed. The next day we ran pretty good, and then it started shitting on itself. You know, and now we see ADMP hanging now at this 480 level where it's got some really decent support. Now I believe, no doubt in my mind, that if you take the long-term view, you know, $6, $7, $8 is definitely, you know, a possibility for this stock, because it's going to generate, you know, if we do even a quarter, or let's just say even 10% of what EpiPen sales are. EpiPen sales are almost $2.5 billion. So let's say this company does even $200 million in sales for its generic version. You know, the company right now only has a market cap of $140 million. Now we have a product that by itself is generating 200 million in sales. I think that does an incredible amount of good for ADMP, right? That upside is going to translate to the stock, and I think, you know, $6, $7, $8 and a market cap of, you know, 300, 400, 500 million is definitely, you know, en route from the 140 that we have now. So ADMP, you know, I wouldn't day trade it now because you probably still have a few day traders still stuck in there, bag holders who are kind of confused on what to do, and they should be selling. So you might be able to get mid fours in a couple of days here if the support doesn't hold. But for the long term, I like it. I like it. All right, so people still talking about BVTK. People still talking about BVTK. I thought BVTK was a wrap. Here's BVTK. You got an OTC stock. Got to look at the daily chart. Got to zoom in on those lower prices. BVTK, you know, still trying to do its thing. I got the 50-day moving average on the chart, so it's respecting that pretty well. You know, again, yeah, I guess these dips have been opportunities for certain traders. Nice pattern, really, since, what is that? Since May 1st. Since May 1st, you're actually up over 400% since May 1st. You're at 0005. You're at now at about 00021 since May 1st. So I guess it's been a good bottom feeder type play for those individuals who were bottom fishing back in May. Yes, indeed. All right, give me some tickers, guys. People listening to you listening to the show, but you guys ain't chatting. I don't know. Everybody's just sitting back and listening. FLGT, nice move on that move today. You see FLGT. What was that? Flugent Genetics. This is a stock I don't know too much about, but up 25% today, as you can see here, had a horrible earnings announcement about 2.5 weeks ago. Up $1.37 on today's move. Man, that's an insane gain. Let's look at the play today here. As you can see here, the volume isn't crazy, right? So it doesn't have crazy volume. But on the 230,000 shares that it did trade today, everybody was buying. All right, so the buyers fully in control of FLGT today. Let's see if that momentum brings in a lot more money and a lot more volume to the stock. Not the cheapest penny stock in the world at 678, 673 actually to be exact, but you know, this is a stock that was oversold for a couple of days and really picked itself up. And speaking of RSI spikes, I brought up a stock called MACK, M-A-C-K, on Sunday. I was looking at this stock very closely on during the weekend. I thought, man, look, the RSI is dirt cheap. We had the gap down. We had a beautiful looking spinning top on Friday, which I believed, meant that the selling was over. And sure enough, I'm still long the stock, for disclosure purposes. I'm still long because I think I can get the 150s, 160s, even if we have a red day tomorrow. I love where, the RSI is. 2 green days so far. I think the buyers are coming back into control now. So MAC, another biotech play. 5 million shares traded today. That's actually the average. It's a very liquid stock. Actually quite liquid. So we'll see what happens with MAC coming up. But again, I think that those 150s are very, very possible. Looking to get back up there. And might see some resistance there. Eventually we'll get a breakout. But right now, just looking for the 150s and MACK. All right. SIII, what is that? Strategic. All right, I'm getting something about India index or whatever. You got a brother in here from India. Cristiano, you looking at India right now? What is that? CANN. Definitely know about that. General Cannabis. I'm not a big fan of cannabis right now. We've talked about that. I did hear about Roger Stone, one of Trump's good friends, starting what are those called? Those, I forgot what they're called. It's like a political action committee called United States for Cannabis or some bullshit like that. And he's going to be going to Trump, urging him to legalize marijuana. All right? Urging him to take marijuana off, Schedule 2 and make it a drug legalized for use. All right? So people can stop losing their jobs and people can stop, losing their livelihoods because they're being caught with a plant. I still think it's ridiculous. Only in the United States of America, though. So, it is what it is. What's going on, Quantavious? Or Quintavious. I know I keep saying it. Keep adding that A into there. PPCH. I'm not getting a ticker for that. ESSI. I haven't heard anybody bring up that stock in a minute. ESSI, by the way, former Nasdaq play. Former Nasdaq play before it got delisted. ESSI, EcoScience Solutions. Here's the daily chart in that. Doing very, very well. Then it fell on its ass. When was that? Back in February. Been struggling ever since. Nice play today, though. Up 15%. $1.56. Called me up and let me know why. And what's got this stock moving over the last couple of days here. Very nice tickers over these last couple of days here. All right. From 26 cents to $1.56. Don't like the volume. Don't like the volume. Only 200,000 shares is the average, but obviously as a swing, it's been doing pretty well. Starting from that 25, 26 cents mark. Otis Johnson, you said just need to learn more to get into the next level. Appreciate it, O's Johnson. Yeah, definitely RIP to Prodigy, man. Definitely RIP to Prodigy. You know, Prodigy was hampered all his life by sickle cell. So I have no doubt about it that sickle cell probably had a part to do with his death. Because, you know, that's something that had been affecting him all his life. And he's had to cancel shows because of his sickle cell, you know, before. He's been hospitalized before and all that. But he had been well these last couple of years. You know, so I think, you know, when we get all the data back, you're probably going to find out that sickle cell had something to do with that. UQM Technologies up 13%. Amex Play over 600,000 shares traded today. Only 100,000 shares is the average. Don't see what, again, here's another stock where I don't see what drove that because there's no news here. But you've had an incredible May going into June. Now with this explosive move here on UQM, but I don't see the news that drove that higher. Don't see any news that drove that higher. Quintavious with ARNA. This is a stock we talked about last week. Man, look at that. ARNA up 12%. Let's check the 5-minute move here. I hope you guys are writing some of these tickers down and take a look at those, you know, for you to trade tomorrow, or at least take a deeper look at them as a possible trade for you tomorrow. ARNA up 12% today. You see how really scary chart back yesterday. Had burned a lot of people up there at that 13. Now at 15. Not a penny stock, but I mean, nice move. 12 to 15. You gotta respect that. Gotta respect that. Yeah, definitely people like my stuff, man. Like my stuff. Press like. Press like. Yeah, so the haters came on my last video. The haters came on my last video, but we still got the truth out. Yes, indeed. CGIX. Cancer Genetics. Down 1.3%. Yeah, don't know anything about this company. And horrible volume, man. Only 66,000 shares traded today. I mean, that, oh, God. That's ugly, man. That's ugly. I mean, this is kind of one of those stocks you just kind of have to wait for some news to come out. You know, I don't know if you've ever traded a stock that only has 60,000, 50,000 shares traded in a day. I mean, it's like watching paint dry. You know, you put it in an order and you're just kind of waiting and waiting for somebody to pick it up. The level 2 looks horrible. You know, you might see 2 or 3 orders at a time. I mean, seriously, if you got some time, pull up one of those stocks that, you know, only trades 50 or 60,000 shares in a day and just look at that level 2. It's just one of those experiences you got to do once or twice. Just so you know you'll never trade anything like that again. You know, unless you know some news is coming and you just want to, you know, take a position in. But if you're going to do that, you know, just be careful because you might not be able to get out if shit goes. ACOL. This is another one I haven't heard of in a minute. ACOL. If you guys remember, ACOL had an incredible 2017 to start off the year. Here's ACOL. We were talking about this stock every day for almost 2.5 weeks, as you can see through the chart. And here's another chart where some of these people who are calling up the show, and I've talked about this all the time because that's what a lot of people do. They call up here, yeah, man, see, I'm up 20%. And the next day, they're up another 15. Yeah, see, I'm up another 15%. Hey, man, I think you should take profits. Nah, man, I think I'm going to hold that. Another 20. And then the next day, they fall on their ass. They fall on their ass, you know, and you never hear from them again. You never hear from them again. No, but ACOL making a little bit of a comeback here. Found some support there. After, I mean, I don't know how many months now. It was almost 2 months of just Some bearish action there. Getting above that 50-day moving average here on the daily chart. Let's see if it can hang on to it, man. All right, let's see if you can hang on to it. It's not a bad risk to take there at a penny. I mean, the stock has potential, so I mean, there's risk in everything. So if you like OTCs, that might be one you want to take. All right, it is a stock people like to buy. HEMP. I haven't looked at hemp in a long time. Oh man, this is ugly. I don't know. Hold on, no, this isn't. Oh no, this is the European version. Let me go look at the. All right. Oh, same, very similar chart. So HEMP OTC down to 2 cents a share. Wow. Man, this used to be, man, yeah. You go back to hemp, the old hemp. We used to talk about hemp at $2, $3. Now we're at 2 cents a share. Shit. I mean, it is what it is. Still looks really ugly to me. Even on the daily chart, RSI is at 39. I think when we were below 30 at that 18, that would have been a really nice pickup. But, still 39 on the RSI. I'm good. I'm good on it. All right. I think the owner still, by the way, too, is still caught up in that legal thing with the SEC. Do some news. Yeah, do some research on that, because I think they're either somebody connected to them or the actual president, CEO of this company is being investigated by the SEC. You might want to do some research on that. AMCN. Nasdaq play. Oh, loving this. Loving this. Again, here's another, RSI oversold situation. All right. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. And this is classic RSI at its lowest point. Get in, and sure enough, it just starts going your way, because many times you'll find a stock where it's 18, 19 on the RSI, and it'll still for maybe 2 or 3 days go lower. Now, here's the thing about playing those RSI, in the trash can plays. Sometimes you can get in, and as I just said, it'll go another week against you. Now, the problem is that, or the good thing is that it can't continue to go to zero. Eventually it has to spike, because other people see value in, bottom fishing like that. And that's basically what's happening here in AMCN. I don't see any news being played here. All you have is guys who saw that level 2 below 20, and they said, hey man, this is an opportunity for us to get in. And 3 straight days in a row, from 130s, and from the 130s, 135, now trading to 191. Solid return there for somebody who wants to play these RSI plays. And again, you can find these easily on FinViz or any other decent scanner. Nice play. But they seldom work that beautifully. I mean, this, you can't ask for anything better. I mean, it got to the lowest point of the RSI, and it was bid up. It was bid up. Many times you'll get in it a bit early, and it might go against you the very next day or the next 2 days. But eventually you get your move. I mean, you'll get your move. But you kind of have to wait. Let me see here. Dries. I mean, I wanted to show you this when it doesn't go right. And here's Dries. Here's an example of a stock that's, below 20, or actually at 20 at the RSI for days, even weeks at a time. And you're never going to get your move, because you're just not going to. You're just not going to, because nobody wants this stock. Nobody wants Dries. It's a horrible stock. And they're going to reverse split again. And that's the crazy thing. They're going to reverse split again. I mean, they've done it twice this year. Actually, 3 times. I think they've done it 3 times in 2016. Excuse me. 3 times in 2016. And I believe twice already in 2017. For Dries. Horrible stock, man. I mean, just trash. But Nasdaq wants to collect their fees, and they know, you know, idiots are still going to hit the bid, and that's what it is. And that's what it is. Shout out to Aaron B in the chat room, Texas Prayer Warrior, all the ladies in the house, Tanisha Harris, Tops. Shout out to the ladies in the audience. My audience, female audience, hit 15%. I was looking at my analytics. Females hit 15%. When I first started the show, it was 95.5. No women were watching this show. Top Ships, TOPS, 21 cents a share, up 3.8% today. Here's another one, man, just deeply oversold. We had a fake out. I want to say this time last week. Let me get rid of that 15 so we can even zoom in on this. They're so depressed. Look at that. I can't even zoom in. They're so damn depressed. We had a fake little run last week where tops and dries had like decent 2 days. Like they had like 2 days of green. Fooled everybody thinking that they could possibly continue to run, but tops at 21 cents a share though, up 3.8%, just a penny on 1.8 million shares traded. I see somebody bringing up Hive. Hive, what is this? Arrow Hive Networks. Here's the daily chart. All right, nice swing since May 8th. What's going on here? Volkswagen chooses Arrow Hive Solutions to streamline logistical process. And that came out June 15th. All right. Then we see an article by Zacks. I can't stand them. But I see a lot of articles being written by them, you know, or not by them, but, you know, regarding them rather. So a lot of news of Arrow Hive coming out. All of it, you know, positive, of course. So I'll read that disclaimer over there at Zacks because I don't trust them for shit. But Arrow Hive doing real well. If we look at Arrow Hive, let's put the 50-day back on there and see how we looking. All right, so where's our 200 at then? I'm just curious. All right, so we just crossed the 200 moving average. Here's the red line, just crossing that 200 moving average. So we were very bearish for quite a period of time here. We were under the 200 moving average since middle of October. It was the middle of October. That's almost 6-7 months. All right, about 6-7 months now. So 7 months later, HIVE now above the 200-day moving average. All right, so goodbye signal. Let's see if we can hold on to it, man. Yeah, it looks like we had attempted a couple times here to get above it and not really doing a good job of crossing it, unfortunately. Stayed underneath it until, you know, May, and now almost toward the end of June, you know, we're just crossing it. It's a nice play. Definitely one to watch at 540. One to watch here. All right, 595 looks like some resistance there at 595, but you know, 50 cent possible move from here. That could be a nice gain at $5 a share. What's going on, boss girl? TRTC, another marijuana play, TerraTech. Again, I'm just not a fan of these right now, man. They're all beat up. I mean, just name it, you know. CV Sciences, TRTC, Hemp. What are some other ones that used to run really, really good? The ones in, you know, Canada. I mean, they're just all beat to shit. Yeah, they're not running like when Obama was president. Because, you know, nobody was going to get locked up for that. BDSI. Let me get my, see, this is obviously a stock that I was looking at. Let me remove all that, drawing tools. BDSI at, let me see here, up 10% on today's move. Here's another stock that's been doing pretty good here. Crossed the 200 moving average back on May 18th, and it's been holding it so far. And you crossed it, where was that? You crossed it at 211. Now you're at $2.60. So I showed you guys that video a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, that Oliver Velez video, the magical 200 moving average, and he talked about how that's an incredible opportunity for somebody to get in, especially if you're someone who trend trades. All right, because cracking the 200 tends to be the beginning of a new trend. All right, TRT, no, that's BDSI. POTN, an old pump of ours. POTN, I'm impressed by this because we pumped POTN right here on this show, and went bananas, right? I think the first 4 days weren't so hot. People already calling up, bitching, and then, again, when people don't have any patience, they sell out, and then, it just goes crazy after that. We get all the way from a penny. We went from a penny to 8 cents a share. Then, like all OTC pumps eventually do, we stopped pushing it, came back down. Now the CEOs went out and, hired a new guy, and they're doing wonderfully. Here's the stock again at 1 cent a share a couple weeks ago in May, and now at, 9 cents or 8 cents a share now. At 8 cents a share now. So POTN, I don't know if SC Trucker, he's one of the valuable listeners and participants in the chat room. I don't know if he's still in that play or not, but I know he made a killing on the first pump we did, and congrats to him because he hung in there when so many people were, oh man, it's not going anywhere. Oh, what's going on? He made a killing. MRAM, Everspin Technologies, MRAM. All right, not a penny stock. Don't know anything about it. Nice play, up 9% today. What was that? Let me see here. What kind of valuation does it have here? Is that 250? All right, $250 million market cap though. Yeah, so it's not that big. But up 9% today. Nice little chart. AMCN. What's going on, Michael B? Still waiting for you to call, bro. Air Media Group. We talked about this one already. Air Media Group. Again, we talked about how, that RSI on it. Let me see here. What else we're taking a look at? LODE. Here's another one. Comstock Mining. Dirt cheap Amex play again. That's why when I look at some of these stocks that are, barely still trading on the exchanges, I'm seeing a lot of stocks that, below 50 cents that were moving real aggressively today. I think all thanks to DCTH. All thanks to DCTH. What is the lowest cost stock right now on the Nasdaq? Let me go with FinViz and check this out. What? Because I know we got to at least have one stock trading at a penny, right? 14 cents. INVT. Is that right? INVT is the cheapest stock right now on the exchange. Even that had a good day. Look at that shit. Even that had a good day. Up 16%. Up 16% to 17 cents a share. Again, here's the 200 moving average. Not getting there anytime soon. But 2 days in a row of solid gains in INVT. Nice play there. Yeah, ENPH, In Phase Energy, 84 cents a share, up 5%. In Phase Energy. All right, I think your opportunity again was, here was the move right here. I mean, at 20 on the RSI, huge sell-off. Beautiful candlestick right here. Here's the doji candlestick. That was your entry right here. That was your entry right here, that doji candlestick. And that's where you would have taken your position there at 70 cents a share. You're now at 84 cents. Obviously, you can get it now, but you missed the big move. The big move was at 70 cents. You're at 84 cents now, as I just said, and you're at 50 on the RSI. So, you risk getting in here if you do get in, of possibly the stock pulling back. I mean, you're at 84. You could come pull back to 79. What do you do then? I mean, you've lost, 84 to 79. You probably lost maybe 6, 7, 8%. So, I think I would wait for a move to the downside before taking a part in that. ENPH is up after hours. Michael Sledge, why are we up after hours? ACHN. Acleon Pharmaceuticals. Who brought this up? Michael B. At 451. 1.9 million shares trade, so pretty liquid. I'd like to know why, though. Typically, when you see a biotech play that's pretty liquid, that means they're actually putting in work. So somebody's expecting something coming out of this pretty soon. 200 is at 487, so they're not too far. Here's another stock that kind of fell on its ass. I never listen to earnings when we talk necessarily about biotech plays, because most biotech companies don't make any money at all until they hit the jackpot with an FDA approval. Then that drug that they've been working on for 3, 4, 5 years becomes their asset for a possible buyout, or they go public with that product and they make hundreds, maybe hopefully billions, and it only helps the bottom line. But here's the sell-off back in November, and it's been trending ever since. So you haven't really made up, the fall. You haven't really made up the fall. You try to tap that 200 here. It's been working. The 200's working its way down as you can still continue to stay bearish. So, but figure out what's going on with the company first. Figure out what when you talk about biotech plays, you got to read what they're working on, because trust me, you don't want to be surprised by anything, especially when you're talking about biotech plays. You just jump in and you don't even know that they have an approval pending, and sure enough, it failed, and now you're sitting on a loss of 10, 15, maybe 20% pre-market, all right? And you had no idea because you didn't read. Because that's how it works. You just wake up in the morning and you found out, oh, the FDA pulled their drug, or the FDA said no to some kind of permission they were asking for. Let me see here. DMTX. Let me see. IMMU. We looked at that chart. Looking at some possible interesting plays. Look at IMMU, by the way, too. Write that down, because IMMU has been going. Again, if you're a swing trader, that looked really, really good. I don't see any news after hours. If you guys looked at LPCN on, I think, was that Monday? What was that day LPCN made that incredible move? Was that today? Yeah, it was Monday after hours. LPCN made an incredible move Monday after hours. So after hours, they dropped news on Monday about a drug that they were working on and how they had gotten positive top line results on their oral testosterone candidate called LPCN 1021. So this news dropped after hours, which was stupid because I don't understand why they dropped it at the end of the day. You know, that just spells doom for the very next day. Because then, if you drop it at 4 o'clock, it starts running, you know, into after hours, and then opens up the next day, and you're already up, you know, sometimes $2 or $3 pre-market. No, nobody's going to buy up there. No, nobody's going to buy up there. And that's basically what happened to LPCN today. For, I want to say for like 5 or 10 minutes, it was like the top stock of the day. For like 5 or 10 minutes, it was up there. And then it just shitted on itself, as you can see here. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And I just feel sorry for anybody who tried to get into this pre-market. And I know, you know, I'm sure somebody either in here or somewhere got into it and lost on their ass. So sad, sad stock. Sad stock. And here's another one of those opportunities where everybody's, you know, and that's basically how you feel when you get caught into something like that. All right. Let me take a look at these before we wrap the show up. SFOR, Strike Force Technologies. Oh, 1%. Yeah, Strike Force was used to be a, you know, real big winner, but man, they're not putting out news like they used to. I'm seeing here the last time they had news was April 17th. Strike Force used to be, you know, and here's another one of those companies that, you know, was a penny stock. You know, nobody cared about it. All right, back in June, July of last year, you know, trading at 0010, 0020, and then, you know, eventually moved up almost 7,000% from the 0010s all the way to 2 cent, 3 cent, whatever that percentage was. A huge amount. Huge amount. Now at 1 cent a share. Yeah, but again, you know, no news. OTC stocks, you're either going to get promoted or you got news coming out. If you ain't got none of that shit, then, you know, in my opinion, ain't worth playing. DXTR, very much like DCTH. We just, you know, talked about those kind of plays where, you know, they're just basically running on DCTH pity that other traders are having for it. Here's DXTR. As you can see, a very beat up stock. Here's the 200 moving average way up there at $1. What was that? Yeah, $1.31, right? $1.21, excuse me, is the 200 moving average. We're at 32 cents right now. Here was another stock that opened up today at 20 cents a share. And moving all on pity. You know, these are guys buying DXTR because they missed DCTH. You know, that's all. They're just afraid of the risk. That's the gist of it. They're afraid of buying too high. They feel like they're late, so hey, let me go find something else very similar. I'll jump in and I'll just go on stock twits, or I'll go on Twitter and tell everybody, hey, come to DXTR, man. Come to DXTR. That's what happens. NG Nova Gold, not a fan of gold right now. Not a fan of gold right now, but up 5%. Where's gold at still? I mean, we had oil hit $43 a barrel. I mean, this is embarrassing. You know, nobody respects OPEC anymore. You know, everybody used to wait for OPEC numbers. You know, but now with everything going on in the Middle East and ISIS and Libya going to shit, again, all caused by America, you know, whatever OPEC talks about doesn't fucking matter. You know, because you got terrorists all the way in these oil-producing states that are selling oil to legitimate companies for pennies on the dollar. So fuck $43 a barrel if I'm an ISIS terrorist in charge of an oil field, I'll sell it to you for $21. I don't give a fuck. You know, so when these guys go on TV on CNBC and they're saying, well, we got too much oversupply and blah, 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 that's basically what it is. You know, when these countries were stable and they had their little dictator shit going on, when OPEC came out and said something, everybody respected that. You know, so the pain in oil stocks, you know, I don't want to get into sort of my soapbox, but we know who causes that. And it only ends up hurting people who lose their oil jobs. Crude oil, like I said, now at $43.48 and well expected to go lower. All right, where's gold at right now? Let me look at gold. Gold is at $12.47 an ounce. Have we even moved over the last 30 days in gold? Yeah, basically the same. Yeah, we're the same prices on gold as we were back on May 24th. Where have we moved in a year? Have we even gone anywhere in a year? Okay, so all right, gold prices went up a little bit since, ironically, the election of Donald Trump. I'm seeing here in November, gold spiked up a little bit. Let me see here, CGRA. Yeah, that CGRA, Seagrove Capital Incorporated Life Insurance. Are they really a life insurance company? What kind of life insurance company trades at 0085? Or they're a marijuana play? Is this really a life insurance company? If this life insurance, let me tell you something about life insurance. Life insurance are some of the wealthiest companies that trade on the exchanges. That's why all these life insurance companies, they tend to have shitload of cash on hand. You know, because those premiums just go straight to the account, man. You know, that's why if you look at like Genworth Financial and all these other publicly traded life insurance companies, they pay incredible dividends, right? If you're an old ass motherfucker and you know you about to retire soon, you know, they pay incredible dividends. If you've seen that guy Trade Like Chuck, I don't know if you guys have ever watched CNBC, and it's this old guy and he's got incredible returns, and he does a lot in insurance stocks, you know, and dividend trading and whatnot. And he talks about how he's generating like anywhere between $40,000 to like $60,000 a month, you know, with dividends and other kind of income generating plays using options. Trade Like Chuck. That's the book. You can get it on eBay or something like that. Or I think on Amazon they sell it for like, you know, $4 or $5 or some shit like that. Yeah, he turned like $40,000 into a couple million, something insane like that, playing options. PGPM. Let's take a look at PGPM. PGPM Pilgrim Pete. All right, here's another OTC play, up 51% today. Again, you know, I mean, who could have seen this coming, man? I mean, who could have seen this coming? Based on this chart, you know, it's no way. This probably should be a green candlestick, but up 51% today. Incredible move. I was getting a lot of emails on ILUS. I don't know if anybody who is subscribed to the pump emails. So disappointing. I mean, they sent out like 20 emails over the weekend. I almost blocked them because I was like, okay, man, damn, ILUS, how many emails are you going to send out? And, you know, stock didn't do shit. Didn't do shit. Yeah, didn't do shit today or didn't do shit yesterday. I mean, they got the volume they wanted, but nobody wanted that shit, man. Stock Z, talking about another. Stock Z, what are you talking about? Another skyscraper? What are you talking about? Has there been another terrorist attack? I don't think so, man. This world is going up in hell. Let me see here. Looks like the Democrats take the L again. In Georgia, looks like they're going to fall short. And the Republicans win again. You liberals need to understand. And again, I'm not a conservative. Y'all don't understand how much these people hate you, man. Y'all don't understand how much these people hate you. Oh, he's talking about that fire. Oh, okay, yeah, that fire. HUSA, we had HUSA. Nick brought that up. He talked about how the company, is supposed to be hitting oil soon. He's playing it for the stock to hit oil. As you guys already know, it was my bag holder stock of the week last week. Actually, the week before that at 97 cents a share. I told you it was a short. I still think the company's full of shit because if you go through the history of the company, they did something like this almost a year and a half ago when they were on the OTC exchange where they were like, yeah, we're pumping this oil well. We're going to hit oil. If you just go back into the news like 2015-ish, like, yeah, we're hitting this thing. And then they come to announce that, unfortunately, we didn't get oil and we misjudged. And so I think personally the company's full of shit. But I hope Nick's right because I know a lot of people listen to him in this chat room and they're probably invested in HUSA. TXTM. Moving on. No, that's not it. TXTM. Protex Mobility. Here's the daily chart. It hasn't been doing anything. I mean, you're at some decent support here. 0010 is the price. Yeah, I mean, not really doing anything. If you want to get in, this is probably where it is. See where you can go from here. Yeah, we talked a little bit about load earlier. This is just another stock running on DCTH pity. That's all. LODE. That's basically all with that. But when I say that, it doesn't mean that these stocks may not run again tomorrow. All right. We had Africa Emporium on the show. About a few moments ago, maybe 30-40 minutes ago. DCTH has another month. To continue to go higher. So yes, that does mean that stocks like DXTR and LODE and what's that? Was it LVNT? Let me see here. INVT and ANY. These stocks that are trading for shit do have the opportunity to keep running. I would really pay attention to ORIG too, by the way. ORIG is one that people like to buy. ORIG can run. ORIG can run. Where's CPHI at? I like the fact that this is dirt cheap and it's a Chinese play, CPHI. I'm not loving the volume. I don't know where the volume is. All right, 400,000 shares traded today in CPHI. The average is 240. So where did that other 200,000 show up in buying volume? And there was no news. So I would pay attention to CPHI today too, tomorrow too. So all of these stocks that again would make kind of sense. I mean, you can't just throw it at anything. I would really do some research on Yahoo Finance or something. Look for suspicious volume. All right, look for suspicious volume. CPHI definitely is on, it would be on the watch list for me. Let me look at ORIG one more time here. ORIG, what's the average? ORIG, okay, so ORIG today was actually below average on ORIG. ENRJ, that's another one that's pretty popular as well. That one's had some spikes, got a lot of spikeability to it. ENRJ, I know you guys got to be familiar with that one. That one was below average volume today. But yeah, I I would definitely be watching those. Definitely be watching those. And check out the ones with really low volume too. You can check out lowfloat.com, or just individually look up, you know, these top 10 cheapest stocks. I would just do that. The top 10 cheapest stocks. Figure out the ones with dirt cheap volume. Dirt low float. I'm talking, you know, 20 million and under. And those are the ones I would just start really focusing on. If you see a stock that's got, you know, 15 cents, 17 cents a share, and it's got only 20 million out there floating, I mean, that's a buy, especially with DCTH running like it is. Stock God, he said 7 dislikes. Yeah, oh man, I'm telling you, that Friday show be getting people heated, man. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. You know, you have a Friday show, and then typically when I come back, that very next episode, the haters kind of show up with the dislikes. But you know, it is what it is. Getting up in their ass. Let me see here. TXTM. So we talked about load. But again, I'm just kind of curious, man, because, man, I don't want to miss the next DCTH, because I'm already fucking pissed off that I missed DCTH and, you know, the big meat of that move. Because I could have thrown at least 2,500 to that bullshit. And I mean, at 4 cents a share, man, I'd be sitting pretty right now. But, you know, you can never predict the future. You can never predict the future, because I know when that stock ran to 8 and came back down, I was like, man, this game over for that bullshit. And then sure enough, they got right back on it, man. They got right back on it all day. African Emporium, ROSG, Rosetta Genomics, ROSG. ROSG, trying to crack that $2. Here's another stock that's been very, very bearish. God damn, no volume is shit. I like that gap down. I thought maybe it'll spike in. I forget. Fuck that shit. Let me see here. Move on. Shout out to, let me see here, I think he's the 3rd richest black man in the world, RLJE, Robert Johnson. I saw that move today, up 7%, 60,000 shares traded. Let me see, I'm just kind of really looking for some kind of suspicious moves. Yeah, other than that, I mean, the other stocks we saw, ZN yesterday was the biggest gainer of the day yesterday. If you guys remember ZN, and ZN was clearly a pump in my opinion. They came out with some news that they, you know, drilling was starting in Israel. You know, and if anybody does some basic research, they'll know that Israel don't even have no oil like that. You know, Israel is like bottom 50 in terms of producers of oil. I mean, they ain't got it like that. So when the stock opened up at 220 and got to as high as $3 and what was that? Actually got to as high as $3.93 or some bullshit like that. I mean, it was insane how high this stock went yesterday, ZN. And, you know, today it fell on its ass out the gate. Wish there were some shorts to grab on. I couldn't get anything. But you probably still have some ways to go in ZN. Yeah, I mean, Israel don't even got oil like that. I mean, so I don't understand how people bought that. But again, you know, that's news, and that's what it is. You All right. Other than that, EGLT. Of course, we had dries, you know, and again, I don't understand it. I really would love to meet. I want to meet a guy who longs dries. I've been wanting to meet somebody or have somebody call up and tell me I tried to, you know, yeah, man, I tried to buy some dries today. I just want to know why. Who are these people? You know, who are these people, man? You know, you see them on level 2 buying big ass blocks too. I mean, it's not like they're buying, you know, 10, 20 shares. I mean, they're buying like 10,000 shares of dries, and 2 seconds later they're down 4%. I don't understand. Let me see here. TDW oil related. Here's TDW. This one was another one that used, you know, again had a. I remember talking about this play. This was a really solid play after Trump. This was a Trump stock. I remember this one. We talked about this one. Just, you know, again, got to some good levels, but you know, everybody woke up and realized, hey man, oil just cracked 50, and we're going lower. And sure enough, I mean, would have been a great short for somebody. 436 now to 81 cents a share. 81 cents a share. And by the way, this looks like what I think HOS is going to do. HOS is another one of those where Trump stock, right, got hot for a little bit. Oil cracks 50. We start going a lot lower. Then you had a little run up. You had a little run up a couple days ago based on news that they refinanced a 300. They got better financing for a $300 million loan. So they refinanced 1% better. And this is when people don't read the news. They refund 1% better. The next day they were going to shit on their ass. All right, they were going to take a shit on themselves, but then they got saved by a late day pump. And today it started finally falling. HOS falling 8%. I don't have any doubt that you'll see HOS over the next coming weeks below, you know, $1, below, you know, $1, maybe $1.30, back to losing again. Let me see here. That was JAGX. JAGX. Definitely more expensive than DCTH. This is another one that's headed, you know, lower. I thought about this as a possible RSI move because JAGX can spike. All right, it can spike, but you know, I think maybe there's more selling here. But you know, we're at 22 now on the RSI. You know, just keep an eye on it. 370,000 shares traded today. The average is only 82,000. So we had a lot more volume today. A lot of selling pressure. But obviously somebody's, you know, is getting in there because thinking something could happen here. So JAGX, just keep an eye on it. 55 cents a share here. Got to make me wait for a better looking candlestick. But as you can see here, you know, you had buyers, you know, buying up those those lower prices. All right, they were rejecting those lower prices. I'd love to see a doji, but you know, we'll see what happens here. But that tells you that, you know, you do have people in here who are interested in seeing this go higher. All right, and again, that goes into that candlestick PDF that I have. If you need that, just email me, happypennystock@gmail.com. The 12 most important candlesticks in trading. I do have that to give to you guys. Let me see here. So I know we discussed a lot of tickers today, a lot of information. Let me see here. SHIP was on the biggest gainer list today. SHIP number 7. SHIP. Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see it. Only 114,000 shares. I don't see anything. Yeah, but they were number 7 on Nasdaq. Are we up after hours? Yeah, why are we up at? Let me see. 358. That's 70. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, nothing special. All right. Just fooled me for a second. All right, but yeah, other than that, I mean, the stocks we talked about today, those are the ones you definitely got to watch tomorrow. Obviously, DCTH, for the traders out there, for my longs, continue to whatever it is that you guys are looking at. It's been a minute since I spoke with Tyson Batts. I'd love for him to, I don't know if he's been busy at night or whatnot, but I know I haven't heard from him in a minute. But I loved seeing, what trades he was swinging. But again, check a look at, those opportunities when we talk about, below 20 on the RSIs. I think those are really great opportunities for someone. FRTA is another one that, I saw this weekend, but I didn't say anything about it. But again, here's another stock that had very, very bearish movement. Dirt low on the RSI. In fact, it actually got low, and that's when we just got done talking about how sometimes you can get into a trade, and it'll still go against you a couple of dollars. Not the cheapest penny stock in the world, as it is a $7 play. Nothing that I would suggest anybody go in now, but if you saw this at a stock that was 33 cents, 44 cents, 85 cents, this is something that you would take a gamble on. Not a bad move here. At $7, I wouldn't risk it because it can have some really serious problems with it. But at 33 cents, 44 cents, you already know it's a fucked up company. But is the potential available there for you to get a dime, 15 cents, on a pop? I think so. I think so. When you see those kind of plays, with this kind of move on that RSI, especially if you were still below in the teens down here. What's going on, Bad Scientist? Shout out to Bad Scientist, man. And I wanted to reach out to you this weekend. I hope no love lost, brother. No love lost at all. HCG. Oh, nope. I got the Canadian play. Hold on. HCG. What is this? Somebody bring it up. Hell, Yuki, you trading those Canadian stocks? I don't know anything about the Canadian exchange, man. I don't know anything about the Canadian exchange. This one's actually pretty liquid. A lot of Canadian stocks aren't liquid at all. Aren't liquid at all. The most liquid Canadian exchange was the exchange that they had in Quebec, but there was so much damn pump and dumps and promotions and all kind of scamming that was going on. They had to shut that exchange down. But the Quebec exchange, that was by far, those were the days for Canadian trading. You'd had stocks that go from 2 to 15 in one day. Just insane profits. But the dumps were incredible too. AX. I don't see anything else in there. Vivint Solar. I saw VSLR. Damn, VSLR. What the hell's going on? Shit. What the hell's going on in this, man? I don't know what the hell, That is definitely a nice June. Coming off at what, $3, now at $5.20. I don't know what's going on with this stock. So you let me know what's going on in VSLR. Again, man, I'm looking at the daily chart. I don't see how you would have been able to see this coming. Let me put my 50-day moving average here. Okay, let me see the 200. Where are we at on the 200? All right, so I guess, yeah, here's your buy sign. Okay, your buy signal was that move over the 200 and then use that as a support. And clearly a very, very profitable trade for somebody who took advantage of that 200 break. As you can see, it tried it many times too. I mean, once, twice. All right, tried it, a couple times and finally broke above it back on May 23rd and hasn't looked back. Find out why. Had an incredible amount of volume today. You had the gap up open. 4.4 million shares traded. That looks like the biggest it had since going back to August of 2016. But yeah, incredible move, man. Absolutely incredible move. Let's see the 5-minute chart with today's action. Yep, here's your gap up opening, and then it just really does a good job of hanging in there. And as you can see, it has been indeed a multiple day run for the stock. Go back to the daily chart. Nice play. Yeah, VSLR is that chart, ladies and gentlemen. Nice move. All right, GIGA, Gigatronics, testing and measuring equipment. They describe themselves as let me see here. What do they exactly do, though? Testing and measuring equipment of what? All right, don't have time to look into that, but GIGA, Nasdaq play, 84 cents a share. Only 100,000 shares traded today. The average is only 23,000. So again, here's a stock showing unusual volume. A little bit of unusual volume here. Here's the daily chart. Again, when they're very illiquid like this, you'll see chart, kind of ugly looking charts like this because they're not very consistent with volume. Let's see here. But other than that, let me see here. This is a former winner right here too. Seru, S-E-R-U. Seru is a former winner, by the way. Yeah, here's Seru. If you guys remember CERU back in March, you guys may remember this stock. It had an incredible run back in March. I'm talking multiple days on the biggest gainer list. You guys may remember it. Seru, now trading at only 39 cents a share. Boy, what 2 months can do to a stock, man. Look at that. From $3.20, $3.55, actually, 58, to now trading at only 39 cents a share. Wow. Incredible. They did come out with some news back on June 19th. Just a day ago, a letter talking about favorable vote on proposals for a shareholder meeting on July 19th. That might be reverse split talks. Pull up that email or that letter in the company filings and take a look, but I'm probably certain they're going to talk about reverse splitting. And if this is a stock that disagrees with it, 39-1 is a lot more possible than 22-1. But CERU, and I'm curious to know if this is a low float from what I remember. Let me do with the share structure. The float. All right, so Equity Feed is telling me 14 million shares on CERU. You might want to check that, but if it's 14 million shares, I would definitely pay very close attention to CERU in the future. If we're talking about 14 million shares and only trading at 39 cents a share. CERU. Let me make sure that. Let's see what Yahoo Finance is saying. Just before we get up out of here. Alright, so Yahoo Finance is not even giving me the float. So all I can do now. And somebody else use another. Because I'd love to hear what somebody else is getting on it. CERU. Africa Emporium, you think, okay, you think it's going to the Qs? ADPT. Yeah. Whatever happened to ADTPQ, by the way? Oh, ADPTQ. Is it still trading? Damn, it is still trading. Okay, but now it's finally shitting on itself. You guys remember, this was another stock that somebody in the chat room was talking about. Now I haven't heard from this guy in a minute who was talking about that. You know, it's been a minute since I heard from that guy. Again, it's another trader that probably bought it at the $2.60, now trading at $1.60. And when you guys lose on a stock, if you call up on a stock and you say, "Hey, this is going to $3," don't think you can't call in if it don't happen. Some of y'all be taking that stuff personally, man. You call up on the show and it's like, "Hey man, Sal, this is going to $4. This is going to $4," and then it don't happen. And you just disappear. Just go Casper on me, man. No. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, man. Yes, indeed. Billy killed. Yeah. Billy killed that stock. That 89,000. That 89,000. That's why I wanted him on the show. We started with the whole interviews and stuff like that. I haven't seen a guy to interview yet at all. Mr. Tim Sykes was supposed to be on the show, but now he's being I don't know. I'm not gonna get started into that. AUPH. Arena Pharmaceuticals up 10%. I did see that AUPH move. 3.3 million shares traded today in AUPH. The average had gotten to as low as 30,000 shares. That's how low the volume had gotten. But AUPH is one people love to buy too, though. I don't know if this is going to be the beginning of anything. RES up 3%, down 3%. For my shorters, I still see retail doing shitty. Retail is still falling on its ass. Super value, here's another one. Super value going down. Kroger's. Some of you guys who live in the South or even the North, Northeast, who Kroger's is. Kroger's still falling on its ass on that Yahoo deal, also on poor earnings. But I think Kroger's, I don't know how liquid their volume is, but this could be an oversold situation here. Here's Kroger's at $22 a share. Again, more expensive, but for my options players, for those of you guys who trade options, if they're pretty liquid, I would go, for some calls in Kroger's right now. I think you can get a retest of at least, 24, 23 at least, right? On Kroger's? I think you're heavily oversold here. All right, but, retail's still horrible. Oil's still horrible. Financials, I thought financials were going to start falling on their ass, but they're still doing pretty good. The tech sector is showing some weakness. The overall market, of course, the bears are always going to say this is the beginning of the end. But many times we've looked at situations like where we're going through right now, and 3 weeks from now, days like today and Friday, they look like buying opportunities. And the market is down right now. Let's see how long this is going to last. With the way this market has been going, this is a buying opportunity. This is an opportunity to get in to stocks like, McDonald's. This is an opportunity to get into stocks that like Apple and all that stuff that are, taking days off right now. They're taking days off. you know. And again, I'm talking to, you know, those who are into options, and or maybe you just got it like that and you can afford, you know, 10,000 shares of $150 McDonald's stock. You know, where a 2% move in McDonald's, it means a lot of money for you. All right. Let me see here, just real quick before we wrap up. I just want to make sure any other stocks to look at. I don't think, yeah, I'm looking at no deals overnight. No deals overnight. Energy still looking like crap. Health sector. Yeah, nothing special there. I had a health stock that I really liked a couple months ago. I can't even remember what it was. What was it called? GEN. Genesis Healthcare. You guys remember that? I used to love Genesis Healthcare. Residential long-term facility. This is kind of one of those stocks that, man, I had so much hope and promise. I was following this stock all summer, and just started losing. I don't even know why. Didn't have any, no earnings reports came out or nothing. It just started losing. All right, cracked that 50-day moving average and got the fuck up out of there. And Genesis Healthcare has never seen $3 or $4 since. I'm still waiting for a possible turning around. The stock is at $1.86 now. Is the run over? I don't know. But I do love the fact that we found support again at $1.52. Now we're at $1.86. If we cross this 50-day moving average, which has been some resistance before, I think it's something to, worth to take a look at. Again, for individuals who like to pay trends. Genesis Healthcare. They got a great business. People getting older. Motherfuckers is dropping their mama off at the residential homes, which is a damn shame. But I understand people have lives. They can't take care of their parents. But I've always thought my parents would come and live with me. But then again, I think to actually go through that, it's got to be a different kind of experience, so it's easy to say, but to actually do, when your parents do get that old, it's a different kind of take on things. But that's the stock, Genesis Healthcare. All right. AHPI. I just want to take a look at what African Emporium is bringing up. Allied Healthcare. UQM. I know we brought this up today. UQM Technologies. Yeah, we brought up UQM Technologies. Nice play. Yeah, that's the one we brought up earlier. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of tickers we discussed tonight. Definitely a lot of place for you to do some research on. I'm really looking forward to what DCTH does tomorrow. Man, this is now 3-4 days in a row now where this stock is, been in the top 10 of gains on the Nasdaq. We crashed 30 cents a share today. Again, this is a stock that was at 2 cents, 1 cent, not too long ago. All right, 2 cents to be exact. What was that? What was that day we were at 2 cents a share to be exact? June 7th. June 7th, we were at 0.0238 on June 7th. And now we're at 22 cents a share. We touched 30 cents. Can't believe that. All right. Cannot believe that. So everybody, ladies and gentlemen, please press like on this video right now. Man, great opportunities right now in the stock market. Continue to study. If you're struggling, continue to study. Maybe you have to adapt to a new way of trading or go back to paper trading, whatever it is you got to do. I hope you guys are noticing that this is kind of like a lifelong thing. I mean, this is not something that you do for a couple months and disappear and come back. I mean, this is something you gotta really be into. All right, I know of a lot of people who were watching, episode 3, and they're not watching now because they just don't have it in them. You know what I'm saying? This isn't for everybody. And the people who start 2 weeks later, they're in the real estate, and 3 weeks later they're in insurance, and then a month later they're into you got to have staying power, because you get better with time. You know what I'm saying? The more you do it, you figure out a lot more about yourself, a lot more about other people, the psychology of people and the way they look at trading. All right, price action and what to look for. It's an investment, but it's an investment you can pay. It can really pay off if you take it seriously. As we've had many traders who come on the show and tell you, hey, I was a nurse. Hey, I used to make $8 an hour working in the mailroom. Now, $50,000 a month is very possible for me. You don't even have to get to that level. We need to understand that the top 1% in America, all right, is $400,000 a year. Fuck being a millionaire. Fuck being a millionaire. Hell, $250,000 a year, I know, can change most of you guys' lives in here. I mean, get to that first. Let's strive for that. Before we start talking about millions. If you're African American, $88,000 a year puts you in the top 1% of African Americans. $88,000 a year. Ain't no ghetto, no hood, no black neighborhood in America you can't ball out on $80,000 a year. That's just a fact. Obviously, we all want more. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if this is your first time. Subscribe to my channel right now. Press like on this video right now. Londo Carter said an extra 60K. Yeah, of course, man. And that's why you don't have to quit your job doing it. A lot of people think, oh, don't even worry about being a full-time. Just, if you're making your money on the side, man, extra G a month, extra 2 G's a month, flip that, becomes an extra 4, flip that, another 8. Because as you get better with time, right, your position, you're getting better, you're adding to your account. Your size is bigger, You double your size a year from now, 2 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Now, shit, you in your mid-30s, mid-40s. Now, 10, 20 years from now, you're in your mid-50s. You're putting in $10, $20, $30,000 positions. Imagine what your life looks like, man. And if you're going harder, maybe that happens a lot sooner for you. But you've read it and you've heard this over and over again. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, man. If you try to sprint this shit, you're going to blow up and you're going to have to, get back to step 1, stacking your money up to do it all over again, when you could just be understanding that this is a marathon, man. Don't put yourself in a position where one trade can break you. Yes, indeed. Q-Tech, you say, how's the manager friend? She's all right, man. She's all right. I hung out with her yesterday, matter of fact. It's one of the reasons why I went on the show. Appreciate that, Kelly girl. Q-Tech, thank you. Cool Cats. Londell Carter, the Trading Wolf, good night. Hell Yuki, thank you, sir. Winston Sawyer, Q to Mayo. D Payne. J West, 1G White, Rodrigo Lopez. Stock God, Africa Emporium, Kev Mo, Random Stock Run, Habib Murad, Sean Jackson. Who else is in here? Quintavious, Jiggity J Import. Still waiting for you to call up, ma'am. And I don't know if you 60 years old? Are you 29? Are you 30? So I gotta call you ma'am, because I don't, you know, I don't know if you my senior or my, you know what I'm saying? Bad Scientist, Nicholas, Life 4 ATV. Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to everybody who called up. I think I only had like 3 or 4 calls. I don't know. Y'all just love hearing my voice. You must be soothed by it. You definitely didn't call in today. Take care, everyone. I might be on tomorrow. We'll see how the market goes. If DCTH goes to like 50 cents tomorrow, I'll definitely coming on. All right. Take care, everyone.